Welcome to another episode of Pirkei Avot. We are on chapter 3, Mishna 18, and we'd like to respectfully dedicate this episode in memory of Levy ben Moshe Esther and Elisha bat Leah, and also in memory of Tzivia bat Moshe Esther. And now I'll hand you over to Michael.
Thank you, Rav Mashiach. So this Mishnah is we talk about the words of Rabbi Akiva, and just very briefly I'd like to give a short biography of this great rabbi. So Rabbi Akiva ben Yosef is his full name. He lived around the years 40 to 135 CE. He was of poor and humble parentage, and he was ignorant of Torah until he was 40 years old. So a good example, it's never too late. Aided by his loyal wife Rachel, the daughter of the wealthy Kalba Sabua, he studied long and intensely with the great scholars at Yavne, whilst both of them were suffering hardship. To support themselves, he sold firewood, and once she cut off and sold her long hair. For many years they were separated so that he could devote himself entirely to his Torah studies in Yavne, until in time he became a distinguished master of Jewish law. Regarded eventually as the greatest scholar of his time, he had thousands of students at his academy in Bnei Barak, amongst them the outstanding teachers of the coming generation. His recorded teachings reflect his modesty and humility, and his benevolence and kindness were proverbial. But above all, he was gifted with remarkable intellectual powers. Concerning his greatness as an interpreter of the written Torah, the Talmud relates that on Sinai, Moshe saw the Hashem making little crowns as decorations on the letters of the Torah. When he asked the reason for them, he was told that one day a sage named Akiva ben Yosef would derive legal interpretations and rulings from every crown and grace line on these letters. A pioneer in Bible interpretation, he also gathered and arranged the entire oral Torah according to subjects, establishing the basis for Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi's later redaction on the Mishnah. When Rome issued decrees against the Jewish people, Rabbi Akiva was amongst those who went to the imperial capital to seek their repeal, but ultimately Rome categorically forbade the study of Torah. Rabbi Akiva calmly ignored the decree, and in 135 CE, shortly after the defeat of Bar Kokhba, whom he had supported in Messianic hope, he met a martyr's death with the words of the Shema as his last utterance. No Tana had a deeper influence on Jewish religious history. So what a life. And now listen to his words. So Hu haya omer, he used to say, Choviv Adam, beloved is man, Shenivra Batzelem, for he was created in the image of Hashem. Chiba Yitore Noda'at Lo Shenivra Batzelem, but it is by a special love that he was informed that he was created in the image of Hashem. Shneema, as it is said, Ki B'Tselem Elohim Osa et Ha'adam, for in the image of God did he make man. Chavivim Yisrael, beloved are the people of Israel. Shenikru'u Banim Lamakom, for they were called the children of the omnipresent, or God. Chiba Yitore Noda'at Lahem Shnikru'u Banim Lamakom. But it is by special love that they were informed that they were called children of God. Chavivim Yisrael. Shne'ema Banim Atem LaHashem Elokeichem. As it is said, you are children of the Lord your God. Chavivim Yisrael Sheniten Lahem Kli Chemda. Beloved are the people of Israel, for them was given a precious instrument of delight. Shebo Nivra Ha'olam. But it is by special Shebo Nivra Ha'olam Shne'ema Ki Lokach Tov Notati Lochem Torati et Ta'azovu. beloved of the people of Israel, for them was given the precious instrument of delight, the Torah, but it is by a special love that they were informed that to them it was given the precious instrument with which the world was created. And it is said, for I give you good knowledge, do not forsake my Torah. So that's the Mishnah, and it's basically telling us how Hashem, we are beloved by Hashem for various reasons, and then it goes on to say, and you're especially beloved because He told you, that He made you aware of this fact. This is a very important point, because we know that you can love someone or something, but once you formally announce it to them, or rather, once you formally announce it to them, you take it to a higher level. It now becomes a special relationship. So this is perhaps the meaning of why Rabbi Akiva stressed, but it's out of special love that he made you aware of all of these things that we just said in the Mishnah. So, what it says in the beginning that we were created in the image of Hashem. So, what created now we know that we are created in the image of Hashem. We must understand that we should be a reflection of Hashem, and also it is commanded to us to imitate Hashem, to imitate the ways of Hashem. Like it says, as He is merciful, so you should be merciful. As He is gracious, so you should be gracious. As He is righteous, so you should be righteous. As He shows loving kindness, so should you show loving kindness. Rabbi Yitzchak also talks about the concept of telling someone something to take it to another level. Rabbi Yitzchak said that when you give tzedakah to a poor person, you gain 6 blessings. But when you combine that with words of encouragement, you are granted 11 blessings. Rambam says something almost identical. He says that when you give tzedakah with words of encouragement and words of cheer, it is a far greater deed. So, like we've actually mentioned in previous episodes, when giving tzedakah, don't just chuck money at people, poor person. You spend a couple of minutes saying, have a good day, look after yourself, or even if you see them regularly, say hello. Just show them, give them a bit of dignity, which is very, very important. So now that Hashem has declared the special love for Bnei Yisrael, what does that do to our situation? Revelation places a certain responsibility on us. We must be aware that Hashem has endowed upon us a significant portion of His being, our neshama, and we must strive to keep it holy. And talking about the neshama, what is it? We must consider this a reflection of Hashem, where our neshamas are the reflection. And then you must ask yourself, well, we're taught by Rambam in Shemona Parakim, the introduction to this, to Pirkei Avot, about the different types of souls. So how does our soul differentiate ourselves from the soul of an animal? We're taught by Rambam that the soul of an animal can be compared to 3 rooms filled with light. So each species perhaps is a different room, and they're filled with a light. The light is the soul. The first room is filled with moonlight. The second room is filled with candle lights, and the third room is filled by sunlight. So all the rooms are illuminated, all the souls are, but they differ quantitatively and qualitatively. So this is the Rambam's in the Shemona Parakim. In the first chapter, he shows this difference. So the light is the same. The souls are of the same concept, lights, illumination, but they're vastly different. Sunlight is very different from a candlelight, as it is different from moonlight. That's Rambam's differentiation. So we are created in the image of Hashem. So what does that mean? How does this benefit us over other species? So, for example, you could take the concept of other things with souls, like a lion or the animal world. You have they're fixed. Generally, they're fixed in their kind of features. You find that lions are normally brave. The ant is industrious. And they say doves are kind of faithful. So all of these animals, you can categorize them. But why we are different is that Hashem endowed a part of Him. Hashem is a kind of all things. And if we are a part of Hashem, part of us, we have the option of being all things ourselves. We have the option of being cowardly or brave. You don't see a cowardly lion, or you don't see a lazy ant. They're kind of fixed. But we have, our neshama bestows upon us, Hashem's neshama, bestows upon us the option to be brave or to be a coward, to be industrious or to be lazy. So we are a kind of superposition. We have all options are open for us. This is the advantage to having a neshama that is vastly different from an animal's neshama.
Yeah, it says in Pirkei Avot, "Have asked Amar v'chal kanesha or asked Zvi v'gibor kari." From Yehuda ben Tema. So not only are the options are open for us, that's actually a goal for us. We're expected to do that.
And later on in the Mishnah, we're informed about this precious instrument, the Torah, which Hashem gave us. So, what can we say about that? The Torah is a precious instrument because it is a blueprint to the cosmos. It is also a blueprint to human redemption, and a blueprint of ethics and a way of life that can serve us in a magnificent way if we follow simply what is written and what is commanded. Also, a concept that I read about regarding a present and a precious instrument. You could say that when Hashem created the world, it's like a businessman who became a very, very big and successful businessman. But when he started off, his original company, that all the other companies that, if he had a multinational organization, it all started off with one key company. And as the businessman grew older and older, he decided to give off sections of his company to various children. And so you could think about the Jewish people being one of the children and the other nations being the other one. So, for example, for the philosophy, he gave that to the Greeks, or the various nations, he gave various of these companies. But the key company, the one that this industrialist loved the most, was the original company that all the other ones sprung from. And this company he gave as an inheritance to the Jewish people. So, and that was his most beloved company, so to speak. And when you also, it's interesting as a final point to comment on Rabbi Akiva as opposed to the Mishnah, the first one of this chapter, by Akavia ben Mahalala, when he looked at this a similar way of a different way of looking at life. He talked about us coming from a single drop and living a life that could be tough and ending up dying at some point, and you've got to make the most of what's in between. And Rabbi Akiva does slightly different. He is more encouraging about life. He says it's a gift, and you are loved, and it's not, but both arguments and both ways of looking at life are valid. What Rav Akavia ben Mahalalala was saying was more, it was in a different vein, but it was with the same message. Rabbi Akiva was giving encouragement in his kind of pathway to Hashem. So that's all I really want to talk about in this Mishnah. And next time we will have another choice word from Rabbi Akiva, and look forward to delivering that.
Wonderful, thank you so much, Michael. Okay, so next time we convene, we will do Mishnah 19, and until then we wish you a wonderful and blessed week.